Hello. So today I will continue analyze match between Zuckertort and Steinitz, first official World Championship match. After game 10, the score was equal, but last three games won Wilhelm Steinitz, so he had psychological advantage. And in all previous games with white, Zuckertort played d4, but in game 11 he started with e4. Why? I don't know. Probably he wasn't happy with his results or with his positions in Queen's Gambit accepted, especially with isolated pawn. Maybe other reasons, but he played e4. In game 11, Wilhelm Steinitz answered with e5, knight f3, knight c6, knight c3. So Wilhelm Steinitz played bishop b5 here. I mean in the match. So knight c3, 4 knights, bishop b5, bishop b4. Old and solid defense. Other options for black are bishop c5 is possible. After bishop c5, position can be very sharp. For example, this line is possible. Also knight d4. After knight d4, usually white plays bishop c4 or bishop a4. It's possible to play this and knight d5. I tried this several times, but objectively there is no any advantage for white in this line. Black can take, and now black has many good moves. Bishop c5 is possible, bishop e7 is possible, and even queen e7 is possible to consider. Why not? Because if bishop e2, black, if queen e2, okay, we will exchange queens. Black can take immediately or play a6. If okay, king f1 looks strange somehow to play without castle. Bishop e2. Black has several good options. For example, queen e5 is possible. Black is attacking the pawn. c4 is not possible because d3, of course. So after castle, now if take immediately bishop f3 and rook e1, white has some compensation. Also still unclear. Black is ready for castle and then bishop f6. If queen e2, queen e6 is possible. Example, this. Okay, queen e2 probably. Black can play queen e6 if they agree for draw or try to play for win. c6 to prepare d5 and bishop e6. So queen e7 is quite reasonable try in my opinion, but nobody of my opponents didn't play queen e7. Okay, so bishop b4, castle, and now everybody playing d3. This is correct move, and if black follows symmetry, so after d6, white can play bishop g5 to play this position, or another option is knight e2. This idea c3 and knight g3. And this symmetrical position is slightly better for white because they can play d4. Rook e8, for example, bishop c2, bishop b6, h3, something like this. But knight d5 is not the best move, and now Even black has some initiative. So knight d5, it's dubious. Steinitz correctly reacted. He took, and now instead of uh, knight d4, now knight d4, bishop is on b4 is not the best position. Better to develop a bishop on c5, as I explained it already. Also, so I explained it that I played here knight d5. Black has no any opportunities with e5, e4. I want to check firstly, is it everything okay with stream? Can you hear me and see me well? Please write something if it's possible. Yes, but now after knight d5, okay, black took, and so if white wants to play knight d5, probably immediately was possible to do it, but anyway, black can take and play e4. But there is difference, important difference. After d takes c6, black cannot take on f3. Because if take on f3, white can take on d7 with check and take here. And white has pawn up, and they are ready for castle, and compensation for the pawn is hardly sufficient. For example, if this d3 and bishop e3 is coming, white has healthy pawns. So if white wants to play knight d5, better to do it immediately. After d takes c6, of course, black should play d takes c6, but now bishop e2, e takes f3, bishop takes f3, and the position is totally equal. For example, this, and then d3, castle, bishop e3. Because in the game, after knight d5, Steinitz took and played e4, totally correct. And now, of course, d takes c6 is possible again, but after d takes c6 is just equal position. Of course, it's hardly achievement for white. So I don't know why Zuckertort played this line. So white is not pretending for advantage after simple bishop e6, for example, c3, bishop d6, d4, bishop d5. Black has no problem at all. Obviously, okay, now obviously white cannot win the pawn with double attack, because it isn't double attack. Pawn d5 is not attacking, because black has bishop takes h2 and black play, for example, rook b8, and white cannot take on d5 because bishop takes h2. So d takes c6 was a comfortable way to equality, but Steinitz now fighting for more. So probably he felt that his opponent probably in bad mood, or probably is not familiar with this opening, so he took on f3. This is difference, and now white cannot take on d7 because it is without check. It's important, and black has no obligation to take on d7. They can take on g2. Or, of course, bishop takes d7 is possible, but after bishop takes d7, take on g2 now, and now black is obviously better because king is weak. So queen takes f3, d takes c6, and black not only attacked the bishop, but also pawn d2 is attacked now. So give me just a moment, I will come back in 5 minutes. So, where to go with bishop? Zuckertort played bishop d3, but bishop d3, obviously it's not easy decision, because after bishop d3, white has problem with with another bishop, with development of another bishop. So bishop c4 is possible, but after bishop c4, black can take. This is the problem. And black is winning the pawn, because after rook d1, queen h4. So white cannot take pawn back immediately. Okay, of course, it's not a big problem, probably. So white can take and play bishop c3, and because of pawn structure, white has excellent chances for draw. So probably I think queen g4 is the best now for black, but I think white can make draw quite easily. Also, okay, black has pawn up, so not so pleasant to play with white and start to play with this position immediately after the opening. After bishop e2, it's now bishop d2, of course, impossible because rook d1, but not so comfortable to have queen on f3 with bishop on e2. Maybe nothing special, maybe white can do it. For example, d3, bishop d5, queen h3, rook e8, bishop f3. So still white is fighting for equalize, and they are easy, they are close to equalize, but slightly better for black anyway here. So Zuckertort played bishop d3. Now there is threat queen e4, but of course it's too primitive. Bishop d6 played Steinitz. Totally possible was rook e8. Very comfortable way to avoid queen e4 because black activate his rook, and bishop on b4 is not so bad because not allow b3, bishop b2. Black is attacking pawn. If, for example, b3, queen h4 is logical to prepare bishop g4. Also, I cannot continue this line. White can try this. And black should be careful here. Of course, not possible to take another pawn because of mate. But black has many options to defend, so queen b4 is possible. Now, white cannot take on f7 because f8 square is under control. So white need to do something else. White has choice, probably after simple b3. Totally possible that white has enough compensation for the pawn because there is some pressure to f7. White wants to play rook f e1. After bishop e6, white will take and queen e3. Queen on b4 is a little bit strange, but I'm not sure that queen b4 is probably queen b4. Now another important square. Here queen takes f7 doesn't work because d8 square is under control. But okay, probably rook e1 is the best here. Bishop g4, queen g3. Not so promising for black, but still some questions. For example, rook e5. What to play? Because if g6, bishop d3, somehow unpleasant for black. White has several sets because of pin. Okay, but after rook e5, black. If queen g4, white can just take and rook d4. Also, rook d8, enough, but totally enough only for draw, of course. So white is not pretending something more than draw in these variations. Of course, if black play more or less accurate and precise. For example, black can. So bishop c4 was a tricky move, but black can take. Of course, black can also play without taking if they want just equalize the game. For example, bishop d6 is totally possible and queen h4. If g3, queen h3 to prepare bishop g4. So if h3, bishop d7, rook e1. Probably this is. There is similar variation in theory. I mean this line. How it? Just a minute to remember. Bishop b5, knight d4. Oh, sorry. I mean this line. Bishop b5, knight f6, knight c3, knight d4, or different move order, knight c3, knight f6, bishop b5, knight d4. There is line knight takes d4. E takes d4, e5. It's similar variation. This. Now take on d2 is too risky because white has big development on advantage. So usually black is playing here after e takes f6 they are taking. With threat c takes b2. So white has no time for castling. D takes c3. And now also after bishop c5, castle, white can take on d7. I remember that Igor Glek played this line with white several times. And now black has same choice. Rook d8, queen h5. Bishop d7 or rook takes d7 and b6 with excellent chances for draw. Or takes, rook a d8, queen g4. If queen b5, b6, as I explained. If queen g4, rook f8. It's compensation as I explained it in reversed colors. Or black can, if black wants to avoid this, they can play queen takes f6, d takes c3, queen e5 check is possible. And after queen e2, position is quite drawish. d5, bishop e6 is coming. Queen takes c7 not possible because I explained it that it will be queen takes f2 and rook d1 mate. Well, bishop e6. And this endgame is equal. Black wants to play king d7, bishop d6. If f4, just g6 is possible. So white has no real chances to play for advantage in this endgame. Or black can start with bishop d6. Only after king f1, bishop e6. Now f4. Okay. Maybe king d8. f5, bishop d7, and then king c7, rook h8 coming. So equal position. So this variation is quite harmless according to theory, but okay, some players are playing this line as well. So the most famous is Igor Glek. Probably somebody else played this. I didn't check database. Okay, so let's see. So Zuckertort played bishop d3, Steinitz played bishop d6. Also rook e8 was also comfortable. Bishop d6, b3. So he wants to develop another bishop, but queen g5, Steinitz fighting. Now pawn d2 is attacked and not so comfortable for white to develop his plan. And Zuckertort decide to give pawn. What to do? Rook d1 not possible because bishop g4, and black already wants to play bishop g4, so not so pleasant. If queen e3, for example, bishop f4 is coming, so this situation already more pleasant for black. So probably bishop d3 it's not a good idea at all. So white played opening without any ambitions, and now they are suddenly faced with some problem. Okay, probably not serious problem yet, but unpleasant. Queen e4 is possible, but queen e4, queen h6, or queen h5 is possible. So surely it's more comfortable to play with black. So Zuckertort decide to give the pawn, but okay. Steinitz took because black has no weaknesses, and he is ready to play queen h6 with tempo. Queen h5 is possible, but after queen h5 black can simply play g6. h6 may be possible as well, I don't know. Maybe h6 is possible as well, but g6 is the simplest solution, and if queen h4, queen f4, and black has extra pawn in endgame. So on move 12, white is already pawned down. Bishop c1 back, okay, but it doesn't look convincing. So probably more logical was something else. Something else. Okay, g6 weaken. Yes, diagonal is weak, but white has no time to utilize it because white has only two squares for his queen, and h4 or f3, and in both cases black is playing queen f4, and they are forced exchange of queens, and without queens white has no chances for attack. Of course, if white can keep queens on the board, g6 can be weakness, but not here. So here the most logical was rook fe1 or rook ad1, but anyway compensation is not enough. Black can play queen h6, black can play queen f4 or queen g5, pleasant choice. Everywhere, okay, so black is pawn up, and his pawn c7 is firmly defended by bishop on d6. So bishop c1, a5, Steinitz. So now he needs to play only this diagonal, which called kosyak in drafts. And black has only two squares for his queen. Steinitz played queen a5, not so obvious for me. Maybe queen b4 was even better, with idea queen h4, and to prevent bishop f4. Okay, c4 is possible, but after c4, bishop on d3, it's not so stable like with pawn on c2, so black can play something like queen c5, for example. If not c4, queen h4 is coming. Third option, of course, not possible. This is big blunder because primitive refutation. So queen a5 played Steinitz, bishop f4. So Zuckertort wants to develop bishops and probably to have some pressure against c7 pawn. Okay, so objectively white has no enough compensation for the pawn. This rook fe8, normal move, but nothing wrong with rook ad8 also. If white takes on d6, black would have choice to take this rook or to take this pawn. But okay, this rook e3, bishop d4, queen d5, not so strong, bishop d5. So Steinitz wants to simplify position, exchange pieces. But now his king on a5, it's a little bit out of play. So objectively, bishop d5 is not a good idea. So maybe even bishop e6, it's natural move, but maybe bishop d7 was more precise. With simple idea to prepare rook a e8, because this line, e line, it's important for black now, and I don't know if white has possibility to utilize unprotected bishop on d6, for example. This bishop c4, okay, can be considered, but black has many options here. Probably bishop f5 is the simplest option. Now pawn c2 is attacked already, and white cannot realize that bishop is protected, because, for example, this c takes d6 or rook takes d6 is possible as well. But I mean, after b4, black can simply take, because bishop is hanging. Okay, even queen e5 is possible, rook f1, queen f6. White has no enough compensation. So bishop e6, now rook a d8, in my opinion, was strong to prepare rook d7. And also now rook a d8 is possible. I don't know, probably white has no real threats and black can think about this, collect second pawn, and then try to play queen b2 somehow. So what Steinitz did, it's very strange. So in previous stream, somebody asked me what I think about level of this player. What can I say? Many mistakes, but if to speak about Wilhelm Steinitz, I have feelings that he played much better 20 years ago, when he played his match against Adolf Andersen. So he was born in 1836, so in 1886 he was already 50 years old, so I have feelings that he played weaker, although he became official world champion. So after bishop d5, white had a very comfortable way to take pawn back. So queen h3, of course. Black cannot take the bishop because mate in 2, so black should defend the pawn h7. Better to do it with g6, because after h6 white can also take with unpleasant mating threats. So g6 is more or less forced, and now white can simply take queen d7. So And black cannot defend his extra pawn. For example, if rook d8, queen takes, queen c7, and then queen takes d6. If rook goes to another square, rook f8, white can take. Now white has enough compensation for the pawn. I don't see how white can take pawn immediately. Maybe also can, okay, c4, bishop e6. Okay, maybe just h4 is logical to prepare rook e1, and looks like white can do draw without special difficulties because all pawns in queen's flank are weak. Somewhere white has idea queen e7, queen f6. So queen h3 was possible, and white could take the pawn back and make draws. So after rook f8, okay, black still has extra pawn. So, which also it's extremely difficult to realize, but even after this h4, white has good compensation. h5 is coming. If black plays h5, white can take on h6, g6. But Zuckertort decide to give a piece without any reasons. So attract your attention that here they repeated moves many times. So probably in that time threefold repetition rule wasn't exist. Queen h7 he played. Logical choice was this, of course. Take piece back. And position looks like quite drawish here. But now it's too late. So white cannot take and c4 anymore because rook e5. And now after queen h8, bishop g8 is possible. So this is important difference between king on g8 or king on f8. So king f8 is correct. So after many checks, Steinitz played king e7. So he is playing for win. And reasonable decision because he has extra piece. And white cannot take the piece back immediately. Is it everything okay with my stream? I need to check it time to time to be sure that I'm doing well. So I mean, if takes, black can take with king, because if take with pawn, c4 is coming, and white win the piece back. So, but after king takes d6, the situation is not so easy for white. Okay, c4 is possible, but after rook e5, queen d1 is possible, but black will take e line, and this is big advantage of it. Here, black can simply take and prepare c6, king c7, or rook e1 is possible. Trojan horse puzzle. Maybe I have seen this, but I don't remember. Okay, so after rook e3, now king f8. So situation is different because again king on f8, but rook already on e3 under attack. I'm thinking about bishop g8 now. But rook h7. This is difference. After rook e7, bishop h6. And suddenly not so easy to defend for black. Bishop takes h2 can be considered. This idea if takes queen h5 check and queen g6. But king h1 is possible. Why not rook takes g7 and bishop h6? It's possible, but I'm not so sure about this position. Rook e1, for example, rook d8, queen h6. Not so clear. Black has material advantage, but some problem with coordination. Bishop e5. Anyway, I would prefer black here. So maybe more precise, do it without rook takes g7, because now king h1 is probably good enough for white. But Steinitz provoked rook on e3, and now he played king f8. Maybe king d7 was possible as well, however. I don't see anything wrong. Because if queen g4, bishop e6, queen takes g7, rook e7. Queen takes f6, queen f5, and black should win here. So probably it was possible as well. But okay, now white can consider bishop takes d6 and c4 idea also not enough objectively, but for example this c4, queen d2. Anyway, black should win here. So king d7 was possible. King f8 now. Queen f5 check, in which queen f5 check is possible. Yes, you are right. Yes, queen f5 is stronger because queen is not protected. Yes, so this, and c4. Yes, so king f8 much stronger. King d7 not. So king f8, Steinitz provoked rook e3. Now white has no idea to take on. To play rook h7 as I demonstrated. So this, bishop h6, rook e7 simply. calm defense. So another white rook is passive. White cannot play rook e1 because queen takes e1 and mate. So he took here and bishop takes g7. Queen takes g7, bishop f7, very important that black has control. e1 square, so white is just piece down and black is ready to play rook g8. He took with bishop, but anyway it is hopeless. He activated his rook, but unfortunately black can provoke queen's exchange, which guarantee is simply okay. If not, queen g6 was totally normal, but after queen h7, black is just winning. So it's already +1 in favor of Steinitz. And okay, what to say about this game? Very strange opening choice of Zuckertort. He played e4, okay, but later knight d5 is very dubious line, and after this he fighted only for draw, and in situation where he could play queen h3 and queen d7, he decided to give the piece, but it wasn't correctly, so he lost. Now Steinitz with white. So Steinitz always played e4 in this. So again Berlin, but now okay, there are two games. I don't know what was the first one and what is second. Okay, so bishop d3, e5, e5, c6. I explained it already. Knight e8 is quite reasonable idea in this position. To prepare d6, depends what white is doing. For example, if knight d5, bishop d6. Okay, after c6, I explained that queen e2 is logical move. This idea of bishop f6, rook e3. With threat bishop takes h7. So black has no time for knight e8 now. Probably rook e8 is the best. But okay, if rook e8, white can play this and win the pawn. Compensation, but I'm not sure that this is totally sufficient. For example, this. Something like this. Maybe. Green screen. For whom green screen? Maybe queen f4, d5, d4. Not allow bishop f5 immediately, but okay, so bishop d6 is possible. Something like this, but okay, b3 played Steinitz, knight e8, now it's logical, and black is well prepared for d5. Knight c7, black has no problem at all, they are ready to play knight e6. Knight e6, knight a4. And Zuckertort played b6, Zuckertort played bishop d7. He allows to simplify the position. Probably reasonable try was try to restrict white. But okay, white rook are active. Probably c4. White has good contraplay now. If bishop b7, white can take on d5. If pawn takes, bishop b5 is coming. If, for example, queen d7, white can take and knight c3 is coming. This idea bishop b5. So bishop d7 he played. Knight c5, so game is simplified. Queen a5 is not dangerous for white because at least queen e3 is possible. After bishop d7, bishop d4, at least this a4 is possible as well, of course. Bishop d4 is possible, black should take. After queen takes d4, black cannot take on d2 or on a2. If take on a2, rook a1 is coming. If takes on d2, bishop takes h7. So b6, bishop a3, bishop d7. Queen f5 instead of queen e3. Queen f5, yes, you are right. Queen f5, much stronger. And white is better. You are totally right. So black should play g6, this, and rook e7. White is better, yes. You are right. Queen a5 is just a bad move. Because of queen f5. Good, so Zuckertort played b6. So white has slightly more active position. Why? So probably black did something wrong. I don't know what exactly. Maybe bishop d6 was possible, but in this case white has this idea. I don't know if it works. Obviously black cannot take rook because it's mate. So if c takes d5, rook takes h7. Now again black cannot take rook because queen h5 check and mate. Well, but big question if it works, because after rook takes h7, instead of cooperative king takes h7, black can try d4. And now white attack is over and game is over too. There is no mate, rook is hanging after bishop takes d4. Bishop takes h2, queen takes d4, and black is winning. At least has excellent chances for win with piece against only 2 pawns. So probably bishop, because positionally bishop on d6 is better than on f6. White has no idea with bishop a3. Also possible flexible knight c7 and knight e6, and only then decide where to go with bishop. So probably bishop f6 is natural, but not the best move. Bishop d6, for example, if now white doing the same, not so easy. because knight f4 already coming. If knight d1, knight f4. Okay, maybe here queen h5, exactly in this moment, because later will be too late. For example, now queen h5, g6, and after queen h6, bishop f4. But now it's possible. G6, queen h6, and the white has threat. Black has no time to play knight e6 because knight takes d5 is coming. So position looks quite simple, but as you can see, there are a lot of tricks. So probably knight c7 was the most precise move. To keep white rook on e5. But anyway, necessary to check this. But now maybe bishop f6. Because if rook e2, knight e6, so white has no time for bishop a3. After rook h5, g6. So after bishop a3, okay, black can think about bishop takes h2, saving the pawn. And I'm not sure that white has enough compensation. Because here Steinitz didn't play rook e1, knight e6 is threat, so he correctly played bishop a3. But I have a question. After bishop a3, Zuckertort played rook e8. So what about knight e6? Why not? This looks like quite logical response. And knight d4 is coming. Bishop takes f8, knight d4. So this was quite interesting try for black. If bishop takes h7, for example, I think it should be bad for white because I can even take queen d3 is not possible because bishop f5, so queen h5 is forced, king g8, now bishop is hanging and rook is hanging. If bishop goes somewhere, g6 is coming and black is winning. No, at least they have good winning chances. So white can try this, rook e8. White is piece down, black is ready, b6, bishop b7. So knight e6 was quite a pleasant possibility for Zuckertort. So I don't know why he didn't play this. Probably he just missed this, or he have seen something for white, but I don't see anything good for white. Yes, looks like black has excellent perspectives. At least they will have comfortable to bishop's pair. For example, I mean something like this. Queen f4, knight takes e2, and then queen takes f8. Black can enjoy this advantage. So probably bishop f6 was correct, but anyway, knight c7 immediately. Okay, so it means that probably bishop a3 was mistake, or at least inaccuracy. Rook e3 now. Rook e3. Very original. To play rook e2 and then to play rook e3. Okay, I understand the idea that after d4, knight e4. So white cannot play immediately rook e3 because d4. And f6 square is protected. So rook e2 provoke knight c7. And now to play rook e3. Only computer can give such a recommendation, I think. But from human reasons, it looks pretty strange, because black can play even bishop g5, for example. And what to do with rook? Okay, probably it's possible to play something like queen g3, just sacrifice exchange, but this is very... It's risky for white, because nobody can give a guarantee that this kind of compensation. Okay, but I wanted to propose modest line to play knight a4, this simplification. And now white has no special risk to be worse, at least. Surely not fighting for advantage as well, but for equality it looks like enough. Then white wants to play bishop c2, d4, something like this. And black has no time to create real threats. If queen g5, for example, white can play queen g3. If queen f6, bishop c2. And then d4. Knight f4, okay, rook e3. Yes, bishop d3, okay, bishop d3 idea, it's tactical idea with some tricks. Take on h7, queen h5, rook h3, but if consider this aspect positionally, it's clear that more logical to have bishop on f1 and then to play d4. So probably bishop a3 was not good move, and now rook e8. He missed excellent possibility to play knight e6, and now Title Tuesday. Yes, I played several times in Title Tuesday. So now black has some advantage, in my opinion. So at least I don't see comfortable way for white to equalize. Okay, probably it's possible to consider queen g3, some kind of prophylactic move if knight d4, rook e1, something like this. But white is fighting for equality. Okay, but in the game after rook e8, no problem for white. Knight a4, good move, because white is preparing knight c5. If b6, c4, as I explained it already. Also, maybe c4 is not so strong. If black just take. Why not? Because d4 square is quite weak for white. If black will be able to consolidate his pieces, probably black can pretend for some positional advantage. For example, bishop takes c4, bishop d7. Knight on a4 is strange somehow. And black is ready to play knight d4 and play it again. Isolated pawn. Okay, knight c3 is possible, but knight d4, takes, queen d1, something like this. So b6 was a more ambitious way anyway for black. But in the game, like this, queen g3, queen g3. He wants to play queen d6. So more natural looks c3 and then bishop c2, d4, something like this. Or bishop b1, d4. For example, this. Or bishop f5 is possible. I mean this. And position is totally equal after rook c8. Bishop d4 is not so good here because bishop takes h7. Maybe queen d3 is possible as well if queen h4 g3. Maybe even strong. White wins a piece. Bishop takes f2. Okay. I'm not sure that black has sufficient compensation for the piece here. Also, probably there is some practical chances after rook e8, for example. Bishop g4 is threat now. So 3 pawns against piece. What is this? To protect rook. Maybe white is better, but okay, black has this kind of chances. And this is draw. Or not draw. Maybe white can play king e3 and then king d2. Yes, okay, this. So black has no reason to take on d4, at least because of bishop takes h7. After bishop takes h7, position is much more pleasant for white. So rook c8 is correct. Okay, so queen g3 played c5, c3, bishop e6, bishop b2. Still, black has slightly better position. But the question how they can improve. Queen d7, bishop c2, h3, b5. b5 maybe not the best idea. Rook takes e6 on rook c8. Just a moment. Rook takes e6. I didn't see this idea. But okay, the question how strong, for example, g6, check g7, what is this? d4 is hanging, white has only one pawn against exchange, so it looks like only black can be better here, and black has positional threat queen e8, exchange queens. So, nice idea, but it doesn't work. Okay, so after h3, he played b5, probably b5 is not the best, maybe just h6 was wiser choice, or put rook on c8 to prevent d4 and prepare d5, d4. Queen e7, funny move, queen e7, queen e7. Here, no, here queen e7, not possible, queen takes h7, and bishop g6 check. No, g6 is correct. Only move, but good one. Okay, so he played b5, b5 probably not the best. Now, finally, white played d4, and both bishops are in the play. Now position looks like equal, queen g4. What? In this position, bishop takes h3, where bishop takes h3? In which moment bishop takes h3? Where bishop takes h3? Instead of b5, bishop takes h3. No. Oh, no. No. h3, bishop takes h3. No, because white just take and take with pawn. Black has no time to take on d2 even because queen b8. No, it doesn't work. But there is interesting moment. So bishop f5. Wait, bishop takes f5. White can play something else. For example, rook e2 or queen f3. Just play this because after this situation is not so. I'm thinking about h5, frankly speaking. Idea to prepare rook c2. So immediately rook c2 is not possible, but h5. And now, okay, if not take, I will take the pawn, and it will be unpleasant for white. So white has no special choice. So g takes h5, rook c2, and again white is in trouble. Rook b1. Okay, what else? If not rook b1, black will. Queen c7. You propose. Queen c7, tricky. I didn't see it, but what is your idea if I just play this? You cannot take on a7 because rook c2 is coming. So creative but bad. So the simplest was queen f3, something like this. Or even queen d3 was this. So I'm still can admit that against Andersen, Steinitz played better than against Zuckertort. Well, queen d3 is more logical choice. g6, queen d2, bishop f5, bishop d1. Now it's... And still black has minimal advantage, but white has contraplay, bishop a3, bishop c5 is coming. So queen d3 was stronger. Queen d2. b4 is possible immediately, but okay, after b4, bishop d3, a5, probably black should play this. It's minimal advantage. Because now, how he played, bishop d3, or h5 was interesting possibility, and now white is in some trouble. How serious I do? Okay, rook b1 is necessary to consider. White is passive, but and my idea is just to play king h7. So I want to play king h6, and if g4, king g5. If white plays g4 now, also bishop h4 looks like pretty unpleasant for white. So white has extra pawn, but all pieces are passive, so white is fighting for draw. h5 was quite good idea. So similar idea utilized Kasparov in his games against Jesus Nogueiras, Cuban grandmaster. But Zuckertort played h6, not so energetic move like h5 after rook e2. It looks like 4-3. So black has more pleasant position for sure, but very difficult to find plan how to improve it. Yes, a5, a4, probably then rook c7. It was possible, yes, a5, g3, for example, a4, king g2, g6, something like this. And next move can be king g7, rook c7, bishop e7 to prepare a3, if white is not doing anything. For example, if white doing nothing and rook c7. And next move, bishop e7. So still some pressure. But Zuckertort played b4. It's strange because now he stopped this idea. Now he played a4. Probably again after a5, white has instead of do nothing, it's better to play this, and after a4 to play king e1, idea to prepare king d1 and rook c2, this defensive method, and it should be enough for draw probably. King on d3, yes, is good, but black can try b4. So now a3 is positional threat. And after take, rook a8. Okay, it should be draw, but still white has some trouble. For example, if king d1, rook takes a4, king c2, rook takes a2, king b3, rook a8, king b4, rook c8. Okay, it's drawish, but rook a8 in which moment? Rook a8 now, okay, but now a3 is not threat because bishop has c3 square, so now white can play king d1 or king d2 even. So white plays g3. After b4 he played g3. Okay, g3 looks like rook a8, a3. But okay, so let's see. Rook a8, okay, king d2, a3, bishop c3. So now a3 is just weak pawn, and white has planned king d3, bishop b4. So a3, there is reason if bishop needs to go on a1 or white needs to play bishop c1 to give the pawn. But now I don't see special achievement. So, okay, Steinitz played g3. Anyway, even here, king f1 looks like more logical move. To prepare king f1. So he played this in next move, but he could preserve important tempi with king f1 immediately. So g3, king f1, a4 now. Okay, rook a1. He defended with rook. Okay, it looks like slightly unpleasant for white, but white has planned king e2, d3, c2. So again, question how black can improve the position. They can play something like this, but king on d3. Black king is very far from real play, so white can make draw without special difficulties. Yes, before I don't like as well. So. But okay, objectively, this draw, I think the best chance for black was to play h5 here. I'm pretty sure about this. So after h5, white is in trouble. So here black has, now even b4 is possible, for example. Idea to stop a4 or a3 and then king h7, king h6, a5. Now white has problem with his very passive pieces because if a3, black will take and take on d4 and f2 pawn is suffering. So h5 was a real try for win. Now I don't see clear way for draw for white. Maybe there is something. Okay, maybe bishop c1 is reasonable. If bishop takes d2, bishop e3. But okay, black will have pawn up in rook endgame. Okay, it's not easy draw at all. Also, maybe it's drawish. Who knows? For example, this. Not okay. Still fine. So it's It's not easy. So h5 was a real chance to create problem for white. But after h6, white can hold position. He played rook e2. Maybe king f1 was also possible. Nothing wrong. But same plan. Rook e2, king e1. So, king d3. So white is ready to go king b3. As rook difficult to estimate certainly if this is winning or not. If discuss about rook endgame. Okay, white can play b4, for example, immediately, and then rook e7. Or rook e7 immediately. For example, if a5, rook d7. But now rook a3, it's unpleasant. Black will so, b4. Looks like very close to draw. If rook a3. If rook b2, rook a7. Again, draw is very likely result. Always draw. Okay, not always, but okay, probably this is the best for white to go to rook endgame and without pawn and try to make draw, but this way. But black can also take on a2, however. Probably here there are more chances for black, but now bishop e3, at least white has contraplay, g4 and g5 coming. So I think bishop c1 is a better try than rook b1. Okay, but in game wasn't something special, so he played rook a6. He cannot play this because now rook c1 and rook c5 is coming. If bishop e7, rook c7, now white is playing for win already. So rook a6 played, a3 played Steinitz. King c2 was possible, but after king c2 idea rook c6 and rook c4. It's not dangerous for white, but hardly they can play for win. They cannot. So Steinitz decide to play a3 to force exchange of pawns. b3 it's hardly here because king c3, rook b6, a4. So white pawn